Dear friends, I understand we are living in dangerous times. I understand we're living in difficult times. I know it appears like we may be living in the last days. But what is going on here is not God-made. What's going on is man-made. What's going on is people who are more powerful than us manufacturing this pandemic, this whatever you want to call it, virus, and putting it out there into the world. Now, I don't know who did it. I know they could be a part, and I'm sure that they are a part of the elite. Who are the elites? I will say this: I believe all governments are a part of the elites. It's some scientists and doctors who are part of the elite. The pharmaceutical companies are a part of the elites. Either one of them could have put it out there. All of them suspect to me. That's why I don't trust any of them, because any one of them could have put it out there. Could have been some religious nuts that's a part of the elite who put it out there. But know this: it's man-made. It's not God-made. A lot of you religious biblical people kill me. Every time something happens in the world, you try to relate it to Revelation. Oh, we're living in the last days. When 2000 hit, oh, the world finna come to an end. And then you try to put Revelation with that. 2012, you try to put Revelation with that. Every time there's something that goes on in the world, you religious people try to relate it to what's going on in Revelation, when that is simply not the case. What's going on is men who wants to be gods and act like gods. That's what's going on here. I can't help it that you're too blind to see it, because guess what? The elites are the ones who wrote the damn Bible. But you'll never accept that, because you're conditioned in believing that God actually wrote it, when in reality, men wrote it. Now, it could have been inspired by God, but it's a lot of stuff that's going on that's not even in the Bible. It's stuff that I have experienced spiritually that's not in the Bible. If this is really a book of the past, the present, and future, it's not going to leave anything out. It's gonna, everything is going to be in there. You get what I'm saying? So, miss me with not. I believe some of the stuff in the Bible, but I don't believe everything, because the Bible has been manipulated. Even if God has something to do with it, right? It's still manipulated by men. Men has tampered with it. Men are still tampering with it right now. Go, if you don't believe me, go get an old Bible and compare it to the new King James versions of the day. You will see that it is tampered with. The Bible is being recreated every year. Every year says something different. And I know this because I've read some of the old Bibles versus the new Bibles. And the verses that's in the old Bibles are not in the new Bible. It's not. My mom have an old Bible that my grandma had. And I think it was handed down to her from her mama or grandmama. Now, in the old Bible, they have certain words written in red. And they say God wrote. Then they have some words in black. Now, go get a new Bible of today, a new King James version, and all of the Bible is going to be black. What does that tell you? That this is man doing this. This is not God. It's not. Because if God really wrote those red words, wouldn't those red words still be in there? Wouldn't you still be making that an example of, oh, this is God wrote that? No, because it's all man. Men wrote the Bible. Men are polluting the earth, destroying the earth. Men are creating these viruses to kill everybody. And women have a hand in it too. But know that it's humans who are the ones who are doing all of this, and it's not God. So when next time somebody mentions to you, oh, we're living in the last days, Ask them this question. Ask them this. When the Spanish flu came, if we were living in the last days, when people back then would have been saying we were still living in the last days, right? Because it's been several viruses throughout the 19th century on to the 20th century. There's been a lot of viruses, and I've lived long enough to have witnessed some of these viruses, like the swine flu, what's the other one? Mad cow disease, and it was other ones. Hell, HIV is a virus. Hell, you know how many people it kills every year? Well, maybe not now, because now they got medicine you can take that allow you to live longer. But hell, HIV has killed the hell of a lot of people, and it's a virus that turns into AIDS. I knew a woman who had HIV, and when it turned into AIDS, it killed her. That's a virus. So if we was really living in the last days, well, hell, we've been living in the last days for a long freaking time, because there's so many viruses out there that are still killing us today. The elites who wrote the Bible, they were going through pandemic and diseases and famines and all of that. That's probably what inspired the person who wrote Revelation to write Revelation, because they was going through a lot of it back then. You know, history repeats itself. We have to remember that too. History always repeats itself. That's why the same thing that was going on years before we were born is still going on now, because history repeats itself. Don't you think people who died from the yellow, what they call it, the yellow fever, felt the same way? People with the Spanish flu and all these other viruses back then, they probably felt the same way too. And for the ones who died, the weeks before they died, those were their last days on earth. So yeah, it's the last days on earth for some of us who don't survive the coronavirus, because a lot of us are dying. So it was some of our last days, but that's not the same thing for people who live, for everybody. Do I believe in the ultimate end, the end of all things? Yes, I believe in it. But we don't know when that's going to happen. And if you are a religious person, even your own Bible tells you that no man knows the day or the hour of the end of the world, not even the angels in heaven. So what makes you think that you better than the angels in heaven? If you do believe, if you do believe in the Bible, your own Bible tells you that. So if you can't take comfort in what I'm saying, take comfort in what your own Bible's saying. The Bible also said there is nothing new under the sun. So the same shit that's happening now was happening back then. You can't just up and say, oh, it's the end of the world, we're living in the last days. Yes, that's true in a sense, because a lot of us are not going to make it through the corona. I pray I make it through it. I pray I make it through it and I rise. I pray that God has a plan for me here. I pray I make it through it. I pray that these are not my last days on earth. You get what I'm saying? But even if it's my last days on earth, you know, in this body, I know that this is not the end for me, because souls last forever, regardless. Do I believe in hell? Well, I think hell is how you interpret it. In a dream one time, I went to hell. I'll tell you about that experience in a later video. I believe in all that. I believe in reincarnation and all that. I believe that, you know, maybe you are judged based on how you lived your past life. You know, I believe in a lot of things, but I'm not finna think because a pandemic is sweeping the whole world that is close to the end of time, because this has happened before and will happen again. Now, it is the end of days for people who die. It's the end of their days in that body. Their souls last forever. But I believe in the end. At the end, like when you die, when your body die, I believe in that. But that the souls last forever. But I don't believe it's the end of the world. And I get tired of religious people saying this every time something goes down. But yeah, I just had to put that out there because this is ridiculous, and I get sick and tired of y'all saying that. Because y'all don't know that. Y'all are not the creator. Y'all don't know when the end of days is. If you die, that's the end of your days then. That doesn't mean it's the ultimate end because your body passed away. Anyway, I'm finna go. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share down below. If you don't want to subscribe, that's fine too. I just entertain the 16 subscribers I have. Peace.